Hello again, everybody. Zach Attackers here with my WWE Raw review for this Monday, September 17th, 2018, from the American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas, still in the Texas Plains, following the decent but shitty ending Hell in a Cell pay-per-view on Sunday night. My reviews on this channel. Mostly reviews for the pay-per-view, kind of like mine, from what I've seen on social media. They liked most of the events, but the first half was really good. But like I said, that's been a problem with most good WWE pay-per-views. The first half so great, and the second half kind of sucks, but you had shitty endings in the main event last night. So after that, and with Raw putting on okay shows lately, going up against the Emmys and against Monday Night Football for the second week in a row, Raw put on probably its best show in weeks. It's not saying much, but it's still a decent show. Building towards Australia, now that the next big event is the Super Showdown event on October 6th on the WWE Network. Plus announcing another network special tonight that I kind of heard about, but now it's official by the company. And also kind of building stuff for Evolution still. So we had some decent stuff. Let's kick off with the man who got lucky. He walked out of the cell, the champion, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, addressing what happened last night, especially the involvement of Brock Lesnar showing up with his, I forgot to say this on my review of the pay-per-view, his weird beard. So, Roman addressed it, saying that, I know Brock has been owed an automatic rematch, which was denied by the former general manager of Raw, Kurt Angle, promising that Corbin probably override Angle now. You know, Corbin's predecessor said that Lesnar would never get another shot at the Universal Championship, being biased. But now with Corbin around, signed with the heels, he'll probably give Lesnar his wish. And Lesnar was called out by Reigns, but instead of Lesnar, came the guy who should have won the championship at the Cell match, and sadly became the fourth man to unsuccessfully cash in a Money in the Bank briefcase, Braun Strowman. I also addressed this on my review, maybe to find a loophole, saying that since it was a no contest, and also since we didn't see Braun bring out the briefcase, it was still in Corbin's possession, they could play up on that or not. Sadly, it was the latter option. They did not play on that. Basically, Braun's cash-in was valid, and it was unsuccessful, sadly. And he said, "You were lucky, Roman, that Lesnar saved your ass, because I was about to destroy you and become the champion. And you're not getting Lesnar till I do, because he screwed me over." So then, you had a lot of people coming out in this segment. You had Paul Heyman coming out. That was after we saw Baron Corbin come out to address Roman and Strowman's battle against each other for Lesnar, saying that we're not going to have this stop tonight, but we will have a championship match, a triple threat in Saudi Arabia. Yep, they're going back to Saudi Arabia the week after Evolution. The reason why Evolution was made was they're doing Saudi Arabia events, which is anti-women. I'm not going into the political stuff. So doing another Saudi Arabia event after the Greatest Royal Rumble event, the Grr, in April, which is okay. They're doing a Crown Jewel once again on a Friday, November the 3rd, I think, November 2nd or 3rd. I got to double check. Yeah, November 2nd. And it will be Roman, Strowman, and Lesnar. I did read that Lesnar was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, and it's official. So that kind of sucks if they don't wait a whole month to see this match that was set up last night in Hell in a Cell. And it sucks that this is the feud that never ends. Roman Lesnar needs to end. Hopefully, Lesnar can go away for fucking ever after Saudi Arabia. We weren't the only ones not happy with the decision of Baron Corbin. Braun Strowman wasn't happy, saying that he was not happy about waiting all these weeks, saying that you suck, Roman, you suck, Corbin, and to my people that he's still technically the heel. Everybody sucks in the arena. So he walked out not happy, and that's when Paul Heyman arrived, saying that what Brock Lesnar did, by the way, he bought the door from the cell that Brock broke open when he got involved in the main event of Sunday's pay-per-view, saying that Lesnar is still focused on getting back into the octagon to become the UFC heavyweight champion. And he wants another opportunity to be a double champion in 2 companies by getting back his Universal Championship in Saudi Arabia. Lesnar has beaten Roman Reigns there before, back at the Gerd, in a very similar, controversial steel cage match. And then Roman said a few words. And then Braun Strowman, who was still hanging out, he chased Heyman to the back. And that's when Baron Corbin revealed that he'll be forcing Roman Reigns to defend the Universal Championship this evening, knowing he's less than 100% against himself, the former Constable, not acting general manager of Raw, Baron Corbin, in our main event. See what happens with that. But we would see all the Shield members get in action today. And we begin with that opening contest involving Dean Ambrose taking on Drew McIntyre. Both Seth and Dolph were not in ringside, which I'm happy about, because we want a one-on-one, especially coming up their great tag team title match. It was kind of cool to see singles competition, and this was a really fun match to open up the main show with on Monday Night Raw. Dean started targeting on McIntyre's leg throughout the entire match, majority of it. But after a little ball on the outside, bad knee and all, McIntyre would come back alive by a big slam onto the barricade to Dean. There were some good spots in this. There was a spot when they were both, Drew and Dean were on the top rope, and McIntyre got tied up in the Tree of Woe. Dean was still on the top, but while tied in that Tree of Woe, McIntyre would sit back up and would toss Dean from the top while in that position. So it was a cool little counter there. That was a cool spot. Both guys applied for the moves, the finishing moves. McIntyre missed an attempt at the Claymore, and so did Dean, trying to do the dirty deeds. But then after Ambrose putting McIntyre in the cloverleaf, they would brawl again, including a dive to the outside from Ambrose. And when McIntyre was on the outside still, Ambrose went for another big move, do a big top turnbuckle splash. But unfortunately, he crashed and burned on that top rope splash. And then McIntyre would slam Ambrose back in the ring, deliver the Claymore, and 1-2-3 victory for Drew McIntyre. Fun opener. Like I said, decent match to open up here. Good spots. Good action from these two guys. And Ambrose is doing better now with his new repertoire of tricks. Still got the dirty deeds in there as his finisher, but he's not doing the lunatic clothesline or any of this. He's still doing dive, but some of his old repertoire, like the lunatic clothesline, is gone. So, there's that. But great way to open up the show. We would find out what would happen with the other members of the Dogs of War. That's not Roman and Strowman. Of course, Seth and Dolph a little later on. Speaking of tag teams, tag team that could be challenging with tag team titles if no one does a heel turn, we got Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, a newly formed team, but they're in singles action against the Ascension. They're a little mini feud. They beat the Ascension twice in tag team action the last 2 weeks, and now we got them in singles action as Chad Gable will be taking on Victor. Okay, little match. We did have some shenanigans with Connor getting involved in the match. We didn't see much from Bobby Roode. He didn't get involved in the match at all. He kind of got involved near the end, but it was all Gable with the technical collegiate wrestling style that he delivered, with the suplexes, including beautiful butterfly at one point. But, like I said, we did have Connor's distractions, and that's when Victor would come alive and benefit from those distractions. But it was the last distraction from Connor that would cost him. Connor would get on the apron, and Chad would drop kick him out. Bobby did take his roll off, but didn't get much involved, because after that drop kick to Connor, Victor would get the finish from Gable, a Chaos Theory suplex, and 1-2-3 victory for Chad Gable. Who's going to turn heel? The cocky Gable or Rude? Who would benefit from a heel turn? Hopefully WWE doesn't do what they've been doing a lot lately. Turning the wrong person heel. Charlotte should be heel, and Roman should be heel. And Bobby Roode should be heel. Chad Gable heel? Okay. Okay, but Roode has been lost since he's been on main roster. Same with the Ascension. I say it every week, but like a broken record. So, Bobby Roode would benefit more from a heel turn than Gable. Speaking of tag teams and most main roster people that came from NXT that failed, I'd like to send our best thoughts to Scott Dawson, who said in a rough couple of weeks after looking like they were promising to dethrone the B team as tag team champions, being the best booking they've had in months on main roster. Unfortunately got attacked by Drew and Dolph during their title opportunity night and were unable to cash in on that match. And unfortunately, we haven't heard from them since. And Scott Dawson's family is now suffering because of the hurricane submerging his family home underwater. Send up best thoughts to Scott Dawson and to all that were affected by Hurricane Florence. Now, as mentioned in the beginning, we are building towards Australia now. Last couple weeks, they've been building up the match that no one wants and no one asked for. Another match between Taker and Triple H. We've seen Shawn Michaels got involved in a promo a few weeks back. We did hear Triple H's response to that last week. And now this week, we got the response from that Triple H promo from last week by The Undertaker himself. It was an okay little promo. Like I said, it's a match that no one asked and needs it, but it's somewhat interesting now. It's about Triple H is delusional. You know, what he says is from a man whose soul is broken and delusional. He said that Triple H used to be a warrior. The game. But now your war room is now the boardroom. You're now a corporate kiss ass. But now you want to come back in the ring and become the game again. But I'm ready for you. Now, Shawn is getting involved in the feud. And it's found out that Shawn will be in Triple H's corner. And Taker says he's going to even the odds by having Kane in his corner. The Brothers of Destruction back together again. Now there's being reports that they've been teasing a possible Shawn Michaels comeback after that promo that he and Taker had a couple weeks back. And now it's being reported that they're setting up a tag team match in the event I mentioned in Saudi Arabia on November 2nd with Triple H and Shawn teaming up against the Brothers of Destruction. Some sort of interaction will set up the match in Saudi Arabia at this match in Australia. So it's kind of a setup match. But hey, it's going to be okay. Still be exciting, even though Taker still needs to retire still. So we're going to see the game with the Heartbreak King in his corner in Australia, taking on the Dead Man with the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee in his corner, Kane. Yeah, he's going to take a week off from being mayor in Tennessee to be in his brother's corner. Storyline Brothers Corner in Australia. Like I said, to set up Saudi Arabia. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, I forgot to mention that this is kind of cool. They announced this as well. No matter what your political agenda is, what you believe about the political stuff, but they're going to a country that anti-women and kind of progressive, blah, 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 blah. They said that they're doing a tournament. Now they had the Greatest Royal Rumble, the 50-man Royal Rumble, which Braun Strowman won. But that didn't get him anywhere anyway. He won the GER. He won Money in the Bank and failed to cash in. Anyway, there's going to be a WWE World Cup tournament that will happen. That's going to be cool. I just read that. So at least they're giving it some sort of importance besides being just a glorified house show like the Australia show is going to be. The only good thing in Australia is I hope to see Cedric Alexander lose the Cruiserweight Championship against the juggernaut Buddy Murphy, who's been rejuvenated in 205 Live, which is now moving to Wednesdays, but it's still being taped at the SmackDown. Fuck! Speaking of 205 Live, we would see the GM later on. But before that, we had Bayley against Dana Brooke, who's officially split from Titus Worldwide. We've seen the tension being built, but Dana wanted to break up from him after losing match after match. But we didn't have any on-camera interaction. It was just separated off-camera. Bayley, who were accompanied by Sasha Banks, who's going to get MTV's rounding out in a couple weeks. MTV's getting people. Like, MTV and WWE's had a great relationship over the last 30 years. Especially they were the ones that kickstarted the Rock and Wrestling Connection. And in modern times, Dolph Ziggler was just on rounding out. Jimmy Uso and Naomi was just on Ridiculousness. And now Sasha Banks, whose cousin's been on rounding out twice, Snoop Dogg, is now on rounding. A couple weeks, I saw it on my DVR. Because I am a rounding out fan. Maybe Snoop Dogg may make a cameo. But they're accompanied by children. It's a pediatric cancer month for Connor's Cure. And they had like picture come out a few weeks ago with a bunch of kids with their names and stuff. That's kind of cool. And they did it again tonight. So WWE is great with kids. You know, I mean, they kind of cater to kids sometimes. Unless you got the Screwdriver segment with Owen and Hardy being kid friendly. It still gets me. I was cringing like everybody else. But hey, they do a lot. So, okay match here with Dana and Bayley. Adequate. Dana trying to step up in her own. But even when things change, things remain the same. As even with the new move, Dana Buchman ended up still losing to Bayley after some big moves, including the Bayley, kind of aggressive Bayley, and the victory. And hopefully we're going to see Sasha and Bayley not team up at Evolution, but it may happen. So now on to the appearance of the 205 Live General Manager, Drake Maverick, as the new manager still. It's still kind of weird to wrap around it. At least AOP's got a manager, but it's kind of like the wrong choice, unless they're going to have him be like the Rockstar Spud character with all those loud suits. I kind of said that a few weeks ago, but it would be distracting. You know, Drake wants to be serious for this team. But they can't be serious if they keep taking on nameless jabba teams. Can they just like beat up like teams like the B team? Where the hell is Heath Slater and Rhino? Like beat up on those teams, not nameless jobbers. At least beat former champions, not nameless jobbers like you do every week. But Squeaky Squasher, not much to say here about AOP's match. Now on to our next affair, which would be for the Intercontinental Championship. Dolph Ziggler arrived following Drew McIntyre's victory over Dean Ambrose and talked to the general manager of Raw, congratulating Drew on his victory, and saying, Dolph, you have not cashed in your rematch yet for the Intercontinental Championship, which I thought was going to be at Hell in a Cell until they made it a tag team title match instead with Dean and Seth against Dolph and Drew. So Dolph was like, I was not intending on cashing in my rematch tonight because I'm still hurt. And then Corbin's like, well, Seth's hurt too. He's not even here yet. So make the match. And if Seth doesn't show up by match time, I'm going to strip him of the championship tonight. Dolph thought he had it easy. Seth hadn't arrived yet. And he was hoping he was not going to arrive. So he could be handed the title without even defeating Rollins for it. But his plan got thwarted as Seth did arrive and was banged up. But he was not going to give up the IC title easily, as both banged up man who did a big spot off the side of the cell, falling from it to a couple tables during the Strowman Woman cell match, would put their bodies on the line again. In the IC title match, they've had a series of matches. Ziggler needs to stay away from the IC title picture, just like Bliss needs to stay away from the Raw title picture for a while, the Women's title picture for a while, and Brock Lesnar after Saudi Arabia needs to stay the fuck away from the Universal title picture. You can't move forward if you continue to move back. You know, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. You can't go forward if you keep going back to the same old trend. Especially Rollins and Ziggler still put on good matches. It's a different kind of match because both guys are banged up. You can see it in the slow-going motion of the match, especially when Rollins was going for some big moves early in the matchup. His back gave out because both their backs were hurting from the impact they had from falling up the side of the cell to those 2 tables, as I just mentioned. Then they ball on the outside a bit. There were also good matches as both guys got their adrenaline back. Some big kicks. And both going for the big moves. We did see Seth going for the Revolution knee or whatever knee. The somewhat of a V-trigger. Waymaker clothesline combination there. But then the ending came after a big superplex from Seth Rollins. He did get the superplex, but just before he was going to do the Falcon Arrow, the move that kind of cost him the match last night and the best ending of the match, best ending of the night for a Hell in a Cell match with the Claymore as Rollins was setting up for the Falcon Arrow. Ziggler would reverse the Falcon Arrow into a predicament, but then Rollins rolled out of it, delivered the stomp in the 1-2-3 victory, retaining the IC Championship is Seth Rollins. Like I said, hopefully they're done with Seth and Drew's friend Dolph Ziggler. You know, they have good matches, but they need to keep them far away from each other. You know, like I said, Dolph needs to stay away from the IC title picture for a while. Bliss needs to stay away from the Raw Women's title picture. And also, after Saudi Arabia, I hope to God Lesnar stays away from the Universal title picture. Especially him and Roman need to stay 1,000 feet from each other. But nope, they keep wanting to do it. So on with our next scenario. We had one title match. We're going to have one later, our main event. We were going to maybe have another one. As Ronda Rousey would come out to issue an open challenge for the Raw Women's Championship. Fresh off a defense of Bliss. Thank God it wasn't Bliss who was answering the challenge. We heard Natalya's music. But I was thinking to myself, it was either going to be Natalya or even Ruby Wyatt. But Natalya was brought out by the Wyatt Squad, who was attacked by them. And Ruby Wyatt was indeed going to answer the challenge of Ronda Rousey. She got in the ring, beat up on Rousey a bit, but then Logan and Liv Morgan would come in to do a triple team. It wasn't really a match, it was just a beatdown segment, which Ronda would be saved by the Bella Twins, teasing their match at Super Showdown, a 6-woman tag. You know, Bella's laid out Logan and Morgan, while Ronda would do a big judo throw slam move onto Ruby to end the segment. We're probably going to get a Ronda Rousey, Liv Morgan's friend, Ruby Wyatt match maybe next week for the title. They're not going to have an evolution, especially if they're teasing a possible Nikki Bella heel turn. So they're probably kind of planting more seeds for that. And Nikki was the one that kind of influenced Rousey to put up the open challenge for this evening. Not knowing that Ruby Wyatt squad were going to beat him up. And the Bellas will make the save. Would a turn happen at Super Showdown? Or before Super Showdown? Or maybe after Super Showdown? Because, like I said, they're in a match together. So, see how it all ends up. On to our next segment. Involving Elias. We're going to sing a song about Bobby Lashley, his opponent for this evening, who's a failure. Unfortunately, that's sad but true. His run in WWE has not been the best thus far. But he may have a shining light. A beacon of hope that could elevate his, until now, lackluster one with shitty feuds with Sami Zayn. And his so-so feud with Elias, which is kind of finally getting a blow-up tonight, somewhat. And now he's starting a feud with Kevin Owens. After Owens attacked him when he came back after quitting a couple weeks back. Elias saying that Lashley's a failure, just like the Dallas Cowboys. We are in Dallas at the wall. And he said, I am seeing a lot of people wearing the Dallas Cowboys uniforms today. It's gonna, when you wear those jerseys, like you're advertising failure. So you know where I'm going with this one. You can say that about every Lions fan, especially they choked another easy win against the 49ers on Sunday. Brock Brady, don't pass, fuck the Lions, fire everybody. Anyway, so the Lions is gonna sing a song, but after getting interrupted by the last couple weeks by Mick Foley last week, Trish Stratus a few weeks back, and Lashley, he's interrupted again. This time by the new manager of Bobby Lashley. We kind of saw him interact last week, but I didn't think they were going to properly follow up on it. Leo Rush. I said it last week. I'm happy they're getting 205 Live guys airtime on Raw. Because we've seen Drew Gulak hanging out with the goons that beat up on the Shield a couple weeks back. As I mentioned, we've been seeing Drake Maverick as the manager of AOP. And now Leo Rush is the new manager of Bobby Lashley. And I love Elias' retort. Whose kid is this? It's already a meme on Twitter and Facebook. Can his parents come out and get this kid who's been talking his shit to Elias? And I kind of like this Leo Rush thing as Bobby Lashley's manager. Lashley's not the best talker in the world. So he's a good mouthpiece. And Leo Rush is a great mouthpiece. And he showed it as he was talking down Elias and also talking down Kevin Owens for beating up on Lashley a few weeks back. Before bringing out Lashley for this match. And the match was adequate for the most part. There was a great move and Lashley was going for a big move up the top rope. And he got countered by a jumping knee from Elias. So that was a cool spot there. But I knew as the action was picking up, we were going to see some interference, some interaction with Kevin Owens. This is exactly what happened. As Leo Rush was on commentary, Kevin Owens came out, wanted to beat up on Rush. Rush went out of a chair, and Owens barely got him with a chair. He missed, actually. He got the announcer's table chair, and he threw it at Rush, but Rush went out of it. He did a little leapfrog over Owens, even leaped out of his hands as he was attempting an apron bomb onto Rush like he did the last few weeks back. But Elias tried to get involved, and Leo Rush, inadvertently or not, sadly cost Lashley his first match as his manager. As Elias came down, Leo Rush beat up on Elias. He touched him. The match is still going on, so Lashley got DQ'd. So Lashley was celebrating later on with his new manager after the beatdown. But hey, he lost his first match. But hey, at least Leo Rush is showing potential for Lashley. May not be the scenario we would like to see Lashley in on main roster, but hey, especially after coming in with a shitty-ass feud with Sami Zayn and a so-so feud with Elias, now he's got a potential with this storyline with him and Leo Rush. They're actually an odd pairing, and I like it. You know, Leo Rush is a good athlete, a fast-paced athlete, especially knowing him from the Ring of Honor, and a good mouthpiece, too. So, it'd be a great combination. See how this goes. And if I finally get Lashley over, and it may be working. We'll see in the long term. On to our next affair. Women's tag action. As Bliss's friend, Alicia Fox, and Mickie James were about to team up against Ember Moon and a mystery partner. First off, happy to see Ember Moon back after a few weeks on off television. Speaking of off television, I was wondering who's Ember's partner. We saw the Bella Twins earlier. We saw Bayley and Sasha earlier. We saw Rousey in Open Challenge. So who's going to team up with Ember? How about the woman who teamed up with Ember on her main roster debut the night after WrestleMania? A woman that not many people know has been out with a knee injury the last couple of weeks. That's why I haven't seen her since after Extreme Rules. Nia Jax returned tonight. A decent bop in a decent match. After Ember got isolation game from Alicia Fox and Mickie James, here comes Nia Jax coming with the hot tag. Pink splashes to both Mickie and Alicia. The ending came after Mickie James once again took a big bump for Ember after delivering the Eclipse. I like Mickie selling on that Eclipse. Before Alicia Fox would be taken down with a Samoan drop in the victory for Jax and Ember as Bliss looks on. So Bliss and Nia Jax's feud that ended somewhat at Extreme Rules is now continuing, even now there's no title on the line. But it could be a number one contenders match, because Nia Jax technically has not received a rematch yet for the Raw Women's Championship that she lost at Money in. Well, she did get a rematch, but she hasn't had a rematch against Rousey yet. You know, because they had their match, the decent match in Money in the Bank, interrupted by Bliss, who won the briefcase in the women's MITV match that evening and cashed in just hours later. So, there's that. Now on to our main event. The Universal title match between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns. This was an okay main event. The shenanigans once again outran the action in the ring, because I knew there'd be some shenanigans. But Corbin came, he came with his power moves, not only mentally, because he's a GM, but physically, being up on Reigns a bit. But Reigns was trying to come back with his big moves, get some more drop, and every time he was attempting the Superman punch early on, because he was doing a setup for it, Corbin would run out of it. But he would end up getting a Superman punch on the floor after they balled it outside a little bit. So then after a little more balling on the outside, after couple spear attempts as well. Corbin would bring a chair and nail Woman with it. In the match ended in a DQ. Or so we thought. No one and another wrestling night with a non-finish. And since Corbin is the GM, he used the same strategy he did against Finn Balor a few weeks back. Used the chair, got DQ, but we started the match as a no DQ match because I'm the GM. So after the chair was used again, this time by Roman onto Corbin, or at least teasing the chair shot, here comes Braun Strowman, beating up on Roman a bit, and then out come the Dogs of War, Dolph and Drew, and then Seth and Dean would come out to even up the odds. They would blow on the outside a bit. And then Seth and Dean would do double suicide dives onto Drew and Dolph. And Strowman was still on the outside, and so was Corbin. And Corbin would kind of benefit from I forgot to mention before that, Dolph, Braun's interaction did benefit Corbin a bit, including delivering the Deep Six. But after the arrival of the Dogs of War and the Shield Brethren, who were referred to by Michael Cole as Roman's friends, they weren't the Shield, they were Roman's friends. Roman and friends. Not the Shield anymore, it's Roman and friends. Roman is a big dog of our imagination. Sorry. Bonnie and Friends reference. Slap me. Anyway, after the double dives from Seth and Dean, we did see Roman try a big splash, a big dive, but would get blocked by Baron Corbin. But then inevitable. Bang, bang, spear! 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns gets the victory. And celebrates as Raw went up the air, still Universal Champion. And we're going to see the Shield against the Dogs of War at Super Showdown. But mostly it might be the main event of TLC. That's in December now. Usually it's in November, October. But it's being replaced by Evolution. Mucus stuff again. Not as bad as last night though. So there's that. There's my Raw review. Like I said, best Raw in weeks, not saying much. Got some decent stuff in there, some bad stuff. But hey, see what happens the next couple weeks to come and walk and step up their game, knowing they're up against football. So with that being said, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See you next time. Bye bye.